What we are looking at today are 24 exquisitely hand-colored engravings depicting the fashions of the late 18th century in France. They are known as fashion plates from the series Galerie des Modes et Costumes Français, or the Gallery of French Fashion and Costumes. And within the span of its publication from 78 to 87, it influenced a whole variety of publications related to fashion, paving the way for fashion magazines as we know them today. So these wonderful engravings came to the Frick Art Research Library through the generous gift of Melinda Martin Sullivan in 2016. We thought it would be wonderful to highlight these objects in the Frick Museum space for the first time. So we named this exhibition Ruffles and Ribbons, Fashion Plates from the Time of Marie Antoinette, which sounds frivolous and happy and sugary almost, but actually it's kind of a subversive title if you dive into the deep history in the late 18th century leading all the way up to the French Revolution. Each wall shows you a different aspect of French fashion or French culture at the time. In between the doorways, we have 3 images depicting court fashion, so formal court gowns made of the most luxurious materials. We even have an image that scholars believe was a portrait of Madame du Barry and her black servant Zamore, who was illegally trafficked into France by the British Navy. And this big wall with the 10 images showcases many of the day wear styles, the casual styles that became extremely popular in the late 18th century. What we have here is the chemise à la reine, or the queen's chemise. It is this one-piece white muslin or cotton gown popularized by Marie Antoinette when she was residing in Versailles, which some scholars believe was actually inspired by the type of dress that European women and free women of color wore in the French Caribbean to combat the tropical climate. When Marie Antoinette wore such a dress for her 1783 portrait, it was so scandalous that the queen would show herself basically in an undergarment that it had to be taken down, and then she had to have her portrait repainted when she was wearing a more formal blue dress. What's amazing about these prints is that they offer a very vivid glimpse into French daily life and culture at the time. For example, let's look at this dashing young man in a pink dressing gown. He's actually enjoying hot chocolate at home, another delicacy and trend going on in late 18th century France. And below him, we have this lady sipping a sweet liquor called Parfait Amour while also eating ice cream. Because of the amazing gift we received, the Frick Art Research Library has an impressive holding of 370 original prints, most of which were hand-colored, which makes the research process extremely difficult to narrow it down to only 24 in the gallery space. But luckily, we have all of them digitized, so if the visitor is curious, you can always go on our website and check out the rest of the series.